good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Friday edition of Kiwanis Connects. Yes, I know it's strange to see us all coming from the studio and not in the Nugget. That's because we've all just sort of recovered. I'm Aaron Phillips, coming to you live from the WWDBTV studios in the heart of a wet Las Vegas today. That's right, I said wet.
Rain stop.
Rain stop. Never mind, we had our storm. Temperatures will drop about 30 degrees in the next couple of days, but it's okay because we need some of the water. We only get 4 inches of rain a year. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, we appreciate it very much. If you're listening to us on the downloadable mobile app, we thank you as much there as well. I'll give you the phone number in a moment because as you see on your screen, I am not alone. I'm never alone because if I was, it would be very uncomfortable. Anyway, no one would hear me, not even me. Anyway, you see on the screen, of course, she is our leader. She is currently in Hawaii making her official governor's visits out there. She is Governor Val. Good morning, Governor.
Aloha. I am actually broadcasting and I want to show off whatever comes up behind me in my suite window because this is one of the most gorgeous suites I've ever stayed in. And so I am here in Maui and wow. You have to send your heart out. So many people here trying to do great service. And so if I start to tear up, it's because of all the stories that I've been hearing. And I'll share a couple, but check out the Facebook page because we're going to do some broadcasting on how you can help out here. Lina is truly devastated. And so I am so glad that Aaron told me a bunch of great jokes. Otherwise, I'd be so morose this morning. So welcome. And I know that we've got a really special guest that you guys have gotten to know really well.
Oh, yes, we certainly have. And he represents a company called Vooks.com. It's an animated book series company. His name is Mr. David Localio. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Aaron, and great to see you again, Val.
Great to see you, too.
Folks, our phone number, of course, is 702-992-3207, 702-992-3207. We'll get to David here in a little bit. For those of you watching, you'll see on the crawl below all of the information regarding David's company, Vooks.com, Vooks.com. His email is on there, david@Vooks.com, for follow-up, as well as his phone number, 310-999-999?
989.
989, sorry. 2725. Those 8s look like a 9 in there. Now, Val, I have to let you know that the only thing we're seeing out your window is a palm tree and a little light blue on the bottom. The glare is not letting us actually see the full view, but the palm tree is making me jealous enough. So because I saw the picture you sent me. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, it's a very early dawn. So it is 6 o'clock in the morning here. So I'm hoping that glare will go down. If it doesn't during one of the breaks, I'll put away the view.
That's okay. Good morning, Jennifer.
I saw that Jennifer's on here, and Jennifer's out here in Hawaii with me, isn't she?
That is correct. She is. She's a kindergarten teacher at school out there, and she, of course, has been following all the happenings there. I did message her when the news broke about the fires to make sure that she was okay, which she is, and I expected her to tune in today since you're out there, and tomorrow on Aaron's Hour, the principal at the school I work at is from Maui and grew up and has a lot of knowledge and experience of Lahaina out there. And so he's going to share some of his stories as well and the devastation and some of the fundraising that's actually going on here in Las Vegas to help those folks as well. But we'll put that aside for the moment because, David, you're welcome to hang in there and listen to the crazy stuff that Val and I are about to go through because, first of all, I hope Julie's watching because she doesn't have to do a double take. I am wearing the jacket, matching shirt that was literally sold off my back last week, but all for a good cause. We raised $500 for the Literacy Club of Southern California to get more books, so I'm happy to do that. If the jacket were with me, the jacket would have not have been sold. However, the shirt, not a problem, so I still have the jacket to go. Anyway, Governor Val, I think what we want to do with everybody watching that's in the chat room and everything, how about we do a little recap and stuff on the just recently completed convention up in Reno?
Absolutely. It was one of the most successful district conventions we've ever had. I've been in Kiwanis a little over 12 years, and I was amazed. I was amazed at the energy that we had and everybody that was attending. So I just want to say thank you. And I know, John, you probably have a lot of photos. And so if you wanted to share any of those.
Oh, he's ready.
He's ready. Wow. We had over 560 people there. And that was the original registration. And I think we went over.
Stop. Sorry, I did not know that the video had the sound behind it to play over you. That's my bad. So we'll play it here shortly.
All right. Do you want to just play it and then we'll talk?
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right, here it is.
Here we go. Aaron, just
Wow.
let everybody know that that was only 10% of the pictures that Al sent.
Oh, wow.
I had to get a new external hard drive, and I'm keeping those because I'm sure that sometime there are going to be people all over the southwestern United States that want to see those pictures.
Good morning, Herman. Appreciate you chiming in. You know, it's funny. How many pictures did you say were in that file? Like a couple of hundred?
There was like 570 or 570.
And then I sent you a bunch as well. That, you know what, John? I tell you what, John did a pretty good job in a 3-minute video, taking the best of 400 plus pictures and getting them in.
It was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to want a copy of that. And I have to thank my friend Janine De Leon, who is my home club secretary and president-elect. Shout out to the Kiwanis Club of Marina in California, not very far from Monterey. She followed me everywhere, and she's documented my career from governor-elect all the way through from my very first training. She came and took pictures. And that's because at one point, one of my goddaughters said to me, Auntie Val, why weren't you ever at any of my birthdays? And because she was looking through all these pictures of her birthdays. And I said, honey, I was at every last one of them. And she goes, you're not in the pictures? And it was because I was taking them.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I was just like, you know, I got to be in some of these. I did some bad selfies in the beginning, but Janine, she did us good.
Yeah, she was great. And we did our show. We did the show from up there last week, and Herman was there. Thank you, Herman. John Brummer stopped by. Chadwick was there. We had the Circle K International president. She stopped by. Of course, we tackled Burt West to come on and for a couple of minutes. And it was a blast to do the show there. And I shared this with you a couple of times over the weekend because I was just floored by the response of how many people there, like at the team dinner Thursday night, when I asked how many people, watch the show, I figured a couple of dozen. Pretty much 98% of the room raised their hand. And then, of course,
there are 90-some people in there.
Yeah, exactly. I paid them all something to just all raise their hand before the event. But to John's chagrin, when I also announced at that same time that I promised John that I would not be doing any bad dad jokes at that MC gig, the audience really was very unhappy with me, and they were sad I didn't have any prepared. And Herman was kind enough to validate that for me during the show. But I had a great time. First convention I've probably been to in at least 15 years. For me, the highlight, Val, we created something here with Kiwanis Connects, and I was duly humbled by the award that you presented to me, even though I wasn't there to accept it because I didn't know I was getting that. So I was like an absentee recipient. But anyway, the impact that we make with this show and the people that we see in the chat room every week, you've probably known them for a long time because they're mostly in Cali where you are. For me to meet Herman and John Brummer and Leanne and Diane and Crawford and Al and Susan Wells, gosh, she's great. That was a big thrill for me because every one of them came up and said, thank you. Delia, I got to meet Kathy Tran. All of them said, thank you for what Kiwanis Connects brings to not only our district, but really to Kiwanis around the world. And I'm very excited that the show has made that kind of impact. And I'm blessed to be part of it and share the stage with you and really support the efforts of your term as governor. And we'll continue doing it. That's the other thing I was asked a lot. Are you going to continue it after, September 30th? And I said, I think we are, we'll do stuff. But so that was the other question I was getting asked a lot was, are you guys going to continue? So.
And this is one of the reasons why people need to invest in some of the commercials so that we can afford to do this into the future. This has been a labor of love from me and my husband. And when people invest in a commercial, that helps offset the cost of being able to do this. And I know that I want to do this as far into the future as I can afford. And so we've made the commitment that with people buying commercials and doing advertising with us and sponsoring us, we will be able to move forward.
Absolutely. Great response at the convention to the commercials. As a matter of fact, I got a lot of verbal commitments. I'm looking forward to some emails coming in. So I think the trend is there. So that's a great call to action. If you're out there watching this, I don't care if you're in Calneva or not, you can be anywhere in the country or the world. If you want to have a commercial created for your club that will allow you to continue to brand and grow your market for members, please email me at kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com. Send me your contact information that you're interested in. I will be more than happy to reply back to how we get it started. So, all right, with that, though,
Even if you're in Las Vegas.
Even if you're in Las Vegas, like I know a certain Las Vegas Lieutenant Governor, Maria Chavello, just happens to have walked into the studio. So we have, what do we have clubs there? 8 clubs, 9 clubs?
We're currently at
8.
9.
Okay, 8.
And I would like for that to become number 9 next Friday.
That's exactly what she just said over here. So, we've got to get really all the clubs in all the divisions. I'd like to see the majority of clubs in each of the divisions take advantage of this. It helps the show, but more importantly, helps your club. We did a show, 2.5, maybe 2 months ago on branding,
Yes.
right? And this goes a long way forward and can serve multiple purposes. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot before we go to our break. When we come back, we'll bring David in, and one of our spots will actually be a 1-minute explanation teaser of what Vooks is all about. But real quickly, if you can, Val, give me your top 3 highlights of the decon last week. And I know it's going to be tough to narrow it down to 3. By the way, I don't know if Andy's watching. Please tell him I'm back in my rightful uniform. I am wearing shorts, so hopefully that gains me points back. So anyway, go ahead.
Oh, that'll give you a couple. The number one thing, actually, I'll go in reverse order. We did something that we haven't done in a really long time, which is have family-size events prior to the convention. And we had 3 different events going on at the same time. We had golf for those people that wanted to be out there with the Pro-Am folks. We had a bicycle tour. It was 32 miles. I decided not to go because I realized I would only survive 2 of those miles. And then the last part was an art tour where you saw pictures in the teaser that showed Believe, and there are doves carved out of that. And each person that attended got one of those metal doves that's individually done from the artist because he was so thrilled that Kiwanis was in town and wanted to see his art. Absolutely amazing. Then number two for me was seeing a bunch of new presenters and people wanting to talk to you about what they're doing in their special projects. And you're doing the show there live with the presenters going by, including Burt West. That was mind-blowing. That was absolutely mind-blowing. And we're now starting a brand new club in El Dorado Hills called the Star Club, Sex Trafficking Awareness and Resources, based on our conversations at DCON. And so we're partnering with a company called Torch and a company called 3M, who build up awareness and teach young people so that we can totally abolish sex trafficking. That makes me so excited. But more important than that, I think I got close to 1,000 hugs from all of the amazing people that attended convention. And what a great way to welcome in Governor Designate, Governor-to-be Carol Ferris, and an emotionally phenomenal way to get a hug from Delia and from Rex as they were saying their goodbyes to me. It's the people. Kiwanis are about the people, and I got a lot of people. So,
yeah, you did. And the other pride and joy I had was I had an opportunity to meet your mom and spend some time with her. She was a lot of fun to hang out with. And we're going to do a special show coming down the line about family members who are in Kiwanis, like you and your mom as leaders. And we're going to tell that story and maybe get some others. All right, with that, great stuff. We could probably just do a show all about DCON, and maybe we will when we have some more time down the line. But with that,
we have plenty of pictures.
We have plenty of pictures. We could just run all the pictures for an hour, and that would be fine. Anyway, we have a special guest who's waiting to come on officially when we come back on the other side from Vooks.com. See, I had that East Coast accent, so I may not be saying it the way he wants it, but he's from New York, so he kind of gets my disability here. He is the Director of Business Development, Mr. David. David, I'm going to botch it up. No, I'm not. Localio. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. More to come. See you in a bit. Bye.
aloha. I am so glad to be able to invite you to Kiwanis Connects on WWDBTV because we have some fascinating shows going on. And so join us on Fridays at 9 a.m. And if you can't join us then, look at all the different links of where you can find us to see the different amazing shows that I do with Aaron and all the crew at WWDBTV.com.
Thank you, Governor Val, for that great message. Good morning, everybody. I'm Aaron Phillips, co-host of Kiwanis Connects with Governor Val, and this message is for all of you great lieutenant governors here in the Cal-Neva District. As a reminder, we created a Kiwanis commercial that is dedicated to the clubs here in the Cal-Neva District. You've seen it talked about, you've seen it on the show, and on the heels of a recent episode where we talked about branding, the commercial we think is a pretty good tool for you all to have. Now, I want to remind everybody, and there are two options that you can take advantage of. Number one, you could take the existing commercial and simply brand it with your club's information at the end of the message. That's $75 to make that edit. Real simple, and contributions do go to Governor Val Direct to maintain the popular Kiwanis Connect show. Now, if you'd like something a little more detailed and customized with your club specific and pictures and everything that's going on, well, we can do that too. There's three options there. For a 30-second commercial, it's $200. 60-second commercial is $250. And if you'd like 90 seconds to deliver the message, that's only $300. All the work is done here at Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Studios with your support. And reach out to me and I can give you all that information. Email me at KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. That's KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. Continued success for the rest of this administrative year and the future for your clubs. And I look forward to seeing you all at the district convention in August. Thank you, Lieutenant Governors. We appreciate your time and effort.
You read to a child, you see their life change. With each new page, you understand that there's something happening that motivates kids to their core and changes them forever. 2 out of 3 students in the U.S. are behind in reading by the time they reach 4th grade. Vooks can change that. We provide the gateway into the life-changing world of reading. By turning storybooks into an immersive experience, we support all learning types and levels. We have the power to transform the way kids think about themselves and the way they feel about the world around them, all by igniting their love of reading. We envision a future in which Vooks is a catalyst for a new age in reading, an age in which success is in the reach of every child. We believe in this future. We believe that all children deserve to read.
All All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. Aaron, Governor Val, David, we're all in the house, and that last-minute commercial that you saw is a little teaser introductory video about what Vooks is all about. Now, joining us officially to talk about that is Mr. David Localio. He happens to be the Director of Business Development, which is great because we love people to develop business, and that's why it works so well. Thank you, David. Welcome to Kiwanis Connects. How are you?
Aaron, great to be here, and thanks for having me on. And Val, as always, great to see you.
Oh, it's awesome to see you. I already called Andy and said you were here today.
So I want to share with our audience that has not had the pleasure of meeting you prior. You have an extensive background in book publishing. You have an extensive background in children's books and all of that stuff. So tell me, if you would, what was the aha moment for you when you realized that Vooks was something that you wanted to be involved with and help spread the word about what this provides, but without the detail of what it does? But tell me about that aha moment.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. The aha moment for me and why I started with Vooks was when I looked at the content. As you said, Aaron, I've done a lot of work with major publishers promoting children's books. But when I took a look at Vooks' animated storybooks and saw that this was an entirely new way to be able to get children engaged in reading, and the quality of the content just absolutely blew me away. I came into Vooks with a little bit of an interesting backstory. My wife and I have a son who's now 20 years old. We adopted him at 4.5. And at that point in time, he had the reading ability or the language ability of a 2-year-old because his mother never read to him. Not because she didn't want to, because she didn't have the time, she didn't have the money to provide books for him. And we consulted with 2 educators at that point that said, look, you are going to have to work very, very hard to get this child up to speed. And the way we did it was we went to the public library and took out literally 20, 25 books at a time and read to him constantly. So I have a firsthand experience of what it is like to deal with a child who is language delayed because they haven't been read to. And so that when I saw Vooks, I realized this is something absolutely near and dear to my heart. Postscript, my son is now 20 years old. He's graduating from community college. He will go on to one of the UC colleges here as a computer science major. So he is doing very, very well. But it would not have been had we not had that intervention. And that's one of the reasons why I started with Vooks, because although we are a for-profit company, we want to make a difference and we want to be good.
And you and I talked about that offline yesterday about some of the things you have working to make that happen. But before we get there, Val, I want to turn it to you if you don't mind.
Well, I'm just, the books and literacy are the core of my being. And so being the president of the Kiwanis Literacy Club Foundation while also being governor, I keep looking for people that are like-minded to share their story. And your story so mirrors my family story that it just wows me. And I know that when parents, even when they read to a child in the womb all the way through, they begin to develop their vocabulary and they start to learn that you can read for pleasure because they associate the parent reading to them as a very positive thing. So that's just absolutely amazing. And so does your son realize how amazing a dad you are?
I think he does. He's still at that age where he doesn't come out and say it, but I think he does realize that. His life would have been very different had we not adopted him and had we not spent so much time with him, providing him the type of enrichment that we needed to in order to get him up to speed.
And I'm sure there are days where David might remind him how good a dad he is too. I mean, that's in the father's bylaws. You have to remind your children how good you are to them.
Yeah, but that's the eye roll.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You know that you've hit the penultimate at that point. If you get the whole eye roll.
I usually get the backs of heads because they're walking out of the room. So,
Right, exactly.
So that's good. So the platform has been around how long for people to take advantage of?
So we started in 2018. We not only have the platform, which you can access via laptop, desktop, but we also have the app as well, so you can access it via a mobile device. And as I think I had mentioned to you, Aaron, we have over 360 titles, 100 of which are also in Spanish.
I just circled that to bring that up. How did you know my pen did that?
Because I was reading it off the paper when he held it up. Right, exactly.
You know, and especially in California, we have so many people that are bilingual and dual language. We even have a literacy club that I'm going to connect you with, that's in Salinas. And they first started by adopting a first grade, and every first grader would get a book a month from our favorite friend Scholastic, where it's in Spanish on part of the page and in English on part of the page. And it was absolutely amazing. The reading level has gone up. You can show that the test scores have gone up. And I think it's now 3 years later, they have adopted 2 more schools. So every first grader in the school district is getting the same book from my first day at school all the way through, where they're almost at the 3rd grade level, because the teachers are interacting with the kids every month on a new book. So your program would just add a whole layer of amazement.
One of the things that we've also found is that when kids start engaging with Vooks, they also then want to go back and actually read the book itself as well. So the two work very, very well together.
You know, it's what I find interesting, and I also work in an elementary school. When it comes to students of that age, attention spans leave much to be desired when you're just reading books to them, even though they have pictures and, you read and you show the pictures. We have a little video that's about 6 minutes long, but we're going to just introduce it for a minute or two for everybody to get a feel for what it is. The animation, though, provides the entertainment to keep the attention of the child. And that, I think, is very important, because even we're all that way, too. Our attention span in about 30 seconds, we're off looking at the red light on the wall somewhere for the next thing. Squirrel. So to have this kind of book learning, where it's visual on top of the words and seeing the words being presented, is very key for the young mind to have, is that entertainment side.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And after we run the story, I can certainly tell you about a brand new product that we are going to be launching that is going to just be part of the Vooks subscription, which is called Vooks Storyteller, which really, really will create tremendous engagement with the child.
Thank you, Leanne, for your comments in the chat room. I don't know if you guys can read the crawl when John puts them up. Reading, most important skill I have, and I love that my kids and grandkids love to read. Great program. I'll be sharing it with my teacher friends. And that's from Leanne Westfall. Thank you very much. So, Governor Val, if it's okay with you, I'd like to run the clip we have of a couple of minutes of, what is it, rice and meatballs. Is that correct?
Fried rice and marinara.
Well, I was close. I told you, what do I know about hot? I'm from the East Coast. I can't say half the words I know anyway. All right, with that, we're going to run this for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be back. Enjoy.
Fried rice and marinara. Yeah! Young Mikey M danced to his front door. Mom, do you know I'm about to turn 4? All of my friends will come over and play. Then piles of presents will fill our driveway. We'll have a huge cake, and my buddies will say, "Your party was perfect. Hip, hip, hooray!" Mikey's mom smiled as he finished his speech. "Your plan is fantastic, my sweet little peach. But no celebration is ever complete until you've decided what you want to eat." Her statement stopped him dead in his tracks. Food, of course. Every party needs snacks. Well, pizza is something that everyone loves, but tacos fit in your hand like a glove. Burgers and hot dogs are easy to eat, but pork and fried rice is such a nice treat. He needed a guru, a trusted grub guide. Maybe my grannies can help me decide. What food did you have for your birthday, Babu? In Hong Kong, Chinese food is all that we knew. Nona, do you know what food you would choose? My roots are Italian, so pasta can't lose. Oh.
All right, there you have it, a little taste of what the books are like, and that little echo effect that everybody may have heard, that does not come with the addition of the animation. We corrected that, so we apologize for the echo at the beginning. What I love about this, and I noted it yesterday when I was watching this, the crispness of the visual. Because sometimes animation could be flat, it could be, dull in colors, but the colors in that are very sharp and distinct and help draw the attention to the animation itself.
Yeah, the animation is really stellar, and you can see that all the animated storybook goes at a slightly slower pace to allow the child to fully engage. Mm-hmm. And you also saw, as you were hearing the voiceover, you were also reading the subtitles. So what Vooks Storyteller is going to do, which is going to be launching in October, and it's patent pending, it will allow a user to actually create their own story narration, and then it will seamlessly integrate the animation and the music and all of the sound effects. So picture this. You're a parent overseas in the military, and you want to stay connected with your child. You can actually narrate a Vooks animated story, and then that child will have it forever. So this ultimately creates real connectedness with families or relatives that are either a couple of blocks away or halfway across the country or halfway across the world.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. One of the things I think that this would have been so helpful, especially when you send people off to Afghanistan and those things, and parents come back disconnected from their child, or their child doesn't know them, and that adds to their PTSD. So for you to be able to have the parent help narrate that's not there, and they can be the one that does the bedtime reading, I would repair families so fast. And I'm sorry I went on this weird tangent, but I'm a military kid. And my dad spent a lot of time away, and we were in foreign countries where my mom was our main connect. So we really didn't know our father very well. And he didn't like us sometimes because we just didn't know him, when we were kind of afraid of him. And I think that the byproduct of what you're talking about helps both parents engage. So if you have a parent that works at night, if they can read a story and record it while they're off to work, that kid remembers that they had two parents all the way through the process.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And then also what we are finding is that the child will read that story again and again and again because their grandparent or their mom and dad is actually narrating it for them. And that then creates an absolute love for reading. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Aaron.
No, you're good. Let's face it, practice makes perfect. So if they get in that habit of rereading, now you're talking about recognition of words and sounds. And when it's got mom or dad's voice or face on it in the Storyteller app that is coming in October, see, I did listen, then I actually had another idea for that, but one I may share off air. But anyway, but the repetition and them to be able to go back, and again, that connection is so important for young people. I want to ask, so the typical age range where this series of animated stories is designed for what?
So typical age range is typically 2 to 8, 2 to 9. Although what we are finding, specifically because of COVID, there are so many 10 and 11-year-olds that are really, really behind in their reading skills. So we are now finding a lot of 10, 11, and even some 12-year-olds engaging in our animated storybooks.
So will that mean that some of the topics in the books will now increase for a little higher age level with some of the materials down the line too?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, we cover a really, really broad range of topics from letters and numbers to language and vocabulary, but then we also have entire categories on biographies and Black history and Hispanic heritage and Pacific Islander heritage. And then we have stories on dreaming big and resilience and believing in yourself. So we start off with stories that are very simple for real youngsters, but then it goes up to stories that are biographies of different people. We have one that is courageous women who have changed the world.
Val?
I can't wait to see that one.
Is Val starring in that one? That's what I want to know.
No, but we would love to do another one with Val starting in it, from what I can hear of your background.
Oh, well, you know, one of the things that Leanne just posted also rang a bell for me, and that is this is a great way for grandparents to connect with their grandchildren.
Yes.
And I have a 2-year-old grandson that I haven't had a chance to spend much time with as governor and governor-elect because I wanted to make sure that he stayed healthy. And I'm always traveling around the world hugging people. And I would have been devastated if I was the one that took that home to my little Evan. And so I just to be able to know that I can connect with him through this kind of program, you've just given me the biggest gift ever. And I know a lot of grandparents out there feel the same way. So.
I'm going to ask a question before we go to break, though. David, I don't want you to answer until we come back because I want to give you a moment to kind of ponder the answer to my question.
All right.
So be prepared. Val's already laughing. She knows when I set it up that way, it could mean trouble. So I just want to know the Storyteller app that's coming in October. Will there be an adult version for it? That's all. We'll be right back. Listen, wait for the answer. We'll be right back. The Granville Allied Gardens Kiwanis Club was founded in 1960. We provide service to Allied Gardens, Granville, San Carlos, Del Cerro. The Granville Allied Gardens Kiwanis Club was founded in 1960. We provide service to Allied Gardens, Granville, San Carlos, Del Cerro, and surrounding communities of San Diego. Our support extends to the youth of our community by sponsoring programs at Hearst Elementary School K-Kids, Lewis Middle School's Builders Club, Patrick Henry High School's Key Club, and San Diego State University Circle K. Some of our favorite events and charities we support include the First Friday Concerts in the Park, Patriotic Holiday Flags on Waring Road, Meals on Wheels, Cub Scouts, and the Allied Gardens Little League. Join our club. We are looking for people who care about making a difference for our children, for our community, and for our world. For more information about our Kiwanis Club and becoming a member, please visit www.alliedgardenskiwanis.org. All right, welcome back. Boy, that voiceover guy, he's pretty good on there, don't you think, David?
It's fabulous.
He has a great voiceover, but he asks some pretty crazy questions.
He does. No question. I will absolutely be accountable for that because, that's where my mind goes. But anyway, you don't have to answer if you want. I can just develop my own answer in my head. You're watching. Go ahead.
God, no, I can certainly answer it. We have no plans to do an adult storyteller.
I want the number of the president. I want to talk to. No, I'm only kidding. It would be fun though. But anyway, Kiwanis Connects brings you a new opportunity for you to present to your clubs, to your educators in the community, not just in Calneva, but around the world. And as an educator, I love this program, and it is something that I'm going to talk to you about in my school, as well as my wife being assistant principal. I'll have her look into this as well. Vooks or Vooks, depending upon what part of the country you're from. What is it? Vooks. That's what I said in your language. Anyway, so what can I tell you? David Localio is here, and I wanted, before I forget, before time runs out, you have some ties that you kind of want to make some, I'll call them announcements or reminders about availability to educators, costs, and all that stuff. Let's talk about that. Val moved again in her room. Did you not?
I am. I'm trying to look as good as you two, and it is tough today.
Well,
you always look great, Val.
Shut up.
Oh, John, I pay you to say that.
Go ahead, David. Take it away and save me if you would.
Yeah, sure, Aaron, no problem. One of the things that Vooks did at the very start of the company is we believed that it was very important to make the Vooks platform and app available to all elementary school teachers completely free of charge. So we're in 175 countries throughout the world. We have 1.4 million teacher subscribers that are subscribing for free. So if you are a teacher and you are out there and you're listening and you're not using Vooks in your classroom with your kids, send me an email with the email address from your school, obviously your name, and also the school you are associated with. We can certainly get you a free subscription so that you can use Vooks actually in the classroom with your kids. The other thing that we are also doing specifically with nonprofits, which is why Val and I had an initial discussion, is we believe it's really, really important to work with nonprofits to achieve our mission, which is to inspire a love of reading in children and to support literacy. So what we are saying to nonprofits, and specifically to Kiwanis, is this: for the price of one book, you have the ability in your local communities, at your local Kiwanis chapters, to give every single child in that community a free 1-year subscription to Vooks for literally the price of one book. And I'll specifically tell you how that works. Our annual subscription to Vooks for parents is $50 a year. It's $4.99 a month, $50 a year. What we are doing with Kiwanis is making those 1-year subscriptions available for $5 per year per child. So if you are in your community and you want to be able to impact children in your community, in addition to the book giveaways that you have, you can certainly take advantage of this particular program, and we can provide you as many subscriptions as you want. And we have a lot of nonprofits that say, gee, you know, we really don't have that in our budget to be able to do something like that. And what we say, look, what you can do is tie in a local sponsor that can sponsor that for you as part of that program. And that program can be ongoing. You can continue to do that year after year after year. In addition to that, with our subscription, we also, in many of our books, have educational materials that go along with it. So you can certainly take advantage of that. I was taking a look at some statistics on literacy, and I think something like 60% of parents. Let me just take a quick look at the statistics. Forgive me. 61% of low-income families have no books in their homes for children. This is from the National Literacy Institute. And the reason why they don't is that they can't afford it. It's not that they don't want to, they can't afford it. This gives you the ability to get into the hands of a child an entire library of books for one entire year.
And what's interesting,
That's amazing.
yeah, I love it. What's interesting is for the kids may not have books, right? But somebody in that household, internet in some of the communities and homes may be something that is more of a luxury than a necessity. But somebody's got a cell phone at home for sure.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So there is still no excuse for a household not to have this in your household because I don't have a laptop, because I don't have that. Guess what? I'm sorry. Everybody has at least one of these in the household. And as long as you can download it and use it on here for your child, there's no excuses in terms of accessibility.
That's exactly right. And so, that's one of the things that I wanted to comment about. If you are a Kiwanian who is watching this broadcast or will be watching the broadcast, and you're interested in doing something like that for your local community, please feel free to reach out to me. We can jump on a quick call. I can tell you in more detail about specifically how the program works. And obviously, Val will work very closely with you as well on this. But it is just such an amazing program, and Storyteller will obviously be a part of that.
For those of you listening on the mobile app right now, you cannot see the crawl on the screen. But if you do go back and visit the video, of course, after we get off the air, you'll have it. But you can call David at 310-989-2725. That's 310-989-2725. You can email him at david@Vooks.com for that information. Well worth the call, well worth the email. Val?
This is so exciting. And so what I'm going to do is offer my lieutenant governors a chance to invite you to present to their division council meetings. And that's where they have 10 to 15 clubs all in one place where you can present to them. And some of them do it on video. And there are a lot of clubs down there in Southern California that would probably want to talk with you. And I think that this is the igniting of a match that will just grow this into an amazing process. I think that if every child that we touch had Vooks in their life, amazing.
It would make a huge difference. It really would. We already, with this program, we have impacted literally tens of thousands of children. And it is a program that we want to continue to spread, and would love to be able to work with your lieutenant governors, Val, anytime, any place. Happy to do so.
Thank you, David. I'm going to put you on my agenda for September. My year as governor ends October 1, but my passion for literacy and spreading the word is a forever lifetime process. So.
I also have a feeling that your influence is going to continue.
Geez, you both said influence at the same time. I don't know. You got like
Dr. Val, the influencer.
That's right. David, you must have ESPN or something to know what we're all going to say. But anyway, I don't know where.
You don't even know what you're going to say.
That's true. I have no idea. But before we move on to Val on the road, I want to mention, speaking of people who do good things with books there, Miss Governor, on Sunday, August 27th, 12 p.m., rock, paper, scissors tournament. That's right. I said it. Rock, paper, scissors. When was the last time you did rock, paper, scissors in a tournament? I never have. I've never done it. I used to do the 1, 2, 3 shoot, odds and evens thing. Rock, paper, scissors. Well, I bring that up as our good friend Justin, Super Justin from Heroes and Hearts, is having a fundraiser that day at the Discovery Children's Museum, 360 Promenade Place, Las Vegas. $9 to enter. Funds being raised are to help him build another safe place in South Africa for kids with books. I've already alerted them to today's show, so hopefully you guys will be able to connect. $9, doors open at 12:30. It's $9 for kids under 12. I believe it's like $19 for anybody over 12. Some crazy guy named Aaron Phillips has actually agreed to broadcast and MC this thing. I've never hosted and did commentary on rock, paper, scissors, but hey, if you can do pro wrestling, rock, paper, scissors should be a breeze, right? Anyway, come down and find out. That's next Sunday, 12:30. All right. We're up against it. You know what time that means, Val? It's your favorite sound effect of the day. It is time for Val on the road.
Oh, I am so Barbie. Oh my goodness. I love it. I am seriously on the road and on the seas this week. Right now, I'm sitting in Maui. In about an hour, I'll be flying to Hilo and the Big Island and meeting with a bunch of fun students and having my governor's visit. And I'm actually going to be doing a service project at the zoo. It doesn't get any better than that.
What will you be doing at the zoo? I'm afraid to ask, but
they have special gardens, and so there's a little bit of work that can be done in the special gardens, and some of that's used to feed the animals that are there. And they have a bunch of wild peacocks that's their primary food. They don't do any extra, and so I get to go to one of my favorite places and actually do service and hang out with bee clubbers. Who knew? And then tonight I will be in Honolulu. And so I get 2 sleeps in Honolulu because we have a special dance for disabled adults. And so the Kiwanis Club is hosting basically an adult summer fling. And so I'll be able to be a part of that. And then my visit in Honolulu with all the clubs tomorrow. And doing their club education for the Hawaiian Islands with my friend Steve Click. I'll be his Vanna White on Sunday. And I head to Hawaii on Monday. And I round out my Hawaii visits. And then I'll actually be back in Maui. And so in the future, but I can share with you here, Lahaina is devastated. It does not look like anything that you've ever seen before. It's going to take at least 18 months to 24 months for it to be truly rehabilitated. Right now, there are tons of people here on the island. And if you do choose to come and visit, please have an extra suitcase full of things that you would want to donate. Bring a suitcase full of clothes and shop here, because that's what's necessary right now is the shopping. And so, is it hard to hear me?
No.
Okay, keep going. All right. And so if you're going to come here, bring your extra clothes, bring your toiletries that you get from your going to the dentist, and leave them here and fill your suitcase with other things. But we're going to actually bring a group of key clubbers from the mainland to come out when it's time to do cleanup and when it's time to do basically a partnership with Habitat for Humanity, because over 2,000 buildings and stores and homes were destroyed last week. And there are still some spot fires, and we're still finding the remains of folks because the cadaver dogs, there are over 40 cadaver dogs right now going through the area. So you don't want to come over the next 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks from now, please put it in your itinerary to travel. Our C&H Children's Fund has a QR code if you'd like to donate, and it'll be for disaster grants for individuals and for our Kiwanis clubs to help with their projects as we partner with the Salvation Army. And so the Salvation Army captain for the island of Maui is actually a member of the Kiwanis Club here. And so we had a great dinner last night and talked about how we can help. And he says, just wait a little bit. And so we'll want you all to wait a little bit. But next week, I'll be in Southern California, and I get to visit with my friend Delia as we work on opening a club in Indio. And I leave Delia with a brand new club, right, Delia? On Wednesday, and we'll go, and I get to visit with John Crawford and Allied Grant Gardens Kiwanis Club. They have been so amazing, and so before this year ends, I had promised that I would come and visit with them. And then we've put off opening clubs in that area until the week after because poor John Crawford is under the weather. He brought a little germ home with him from Kiwanis Convention, and so we want to make sure that he's feeling well and up to it. So when we open our Coronado Club and our San Diego Marina Club and Lemon Grove, that he is at the forefront because this is his dream, and we want to fulfill that dream based on how he wants to do it. I'm so excited. So by the time you see me next Friday, I'll probably have about 15,000 miles worth of travel under my belt and just feeling wow.
Is that just this week?
That's just today, John. So is there, you mentioned next Friday. Is there something else next Friday that may be going on here in Vegas?
Yes, I actually have made my arrangements. And so hopefully I will be in studio with you next Friday and next Friday afternoon with Maritza's help. Is Maritza in the studio?
She is. She's sitting stage left.
Stage.
My left.
Yeah,
Left.
that's right. No.
Stage left. I am committing to being there, Marissa, to help you charter the Downtown Las Vegas Club. We've had a lot of people's interest in doing that. So I'm going to come in a little early and help you go meet with people. And let's make this club a reality. Justin was like, when is my Kiwanis Club starting? And so let's make it happen.
Well, we look forward to that next week for sure. I just want to mention as a footnote to the Maui stuff, and I mentioned at the top, tomorrow on Aaron's Hour, I have Mr. John Pillaton. He's a principal here at one of the schools in town, and he also grew up in Maui and had many, many, many experiences over in Lahaina, and he's going to share with us the history of the island, the devastation of someone who is familiar with the island as well. Maybe if Jennifer has time, she can call in and join that conversation. So also, too, my school, and I introduced it to Eileen's school, my school started selling leis to raise money for Lahaina to send over. I shared that idea with my wife's school, and in 2.5 days, she raised over $300 in selling the leis for us as well. So the schools and community here are getting into supporting as well the relief efforts. And on a side note, I read an article this morning about the reconstruction of what's going to go on there. We all know Hawaii is expensive anyway because of where it's located, and getting there is not easy, shipments and all of that. They're predicting that the costs to rebuild alone will be about a 30% higher cost because of the demand, because of the cost of shipping that stuff. And they're afraid that just like during the pandemic and stuff, product may not get to the destination on average for about 8 to 9 months because Hawaii has a big thing about wood and actually have to have termite inspections when it comes into Hawaii. So we're talking great stuff that we want to rebuild, that they want to rebuild quickly, but there's a lot of things in terms of manpower and workmanship and getting crews over there and products that may delay the final product being done in a time span that would make everybody happy. So I just wanted to share that any dollar or so that we can get over there and help with the relief, let's do it, because like I always say at the end of every show, and it's no better implied than right now, is be kind to everybody because we're all we have, and certainly to help our friends over there in Maui is needed.
I would like to jump in for a moment. David, this is a perfect time to have this conversation. There are a lot of displaced kids, and so if it's possible, I would like for us to work on a matching grant so that we can get every kid access to Vooks, because as you know, the library is gone. All access to books on that side of the island is gone. The teacher supplies are gone. And so being able to use books as a learning tool with these kiddos, I brought only a few books with me this time, but I'm coming back next month. And I would love maybe if we can get you here and be able to teach them how to use it and get a book into, my plan is to get a new book into every kid's hand. And if we could get books, them connected with the books, then that means that they won't lose this time in learning. And I can't think of a better project to use with them.
Val, I am happy to have that conversation anytime, and it would be an honor and a privilege to work with you.
David, what was the cost again for sponsoring somebody else, the $5, right? And how does that work again?
So it's $5 per subscription per year for each child instead of a $50 subscription. Let's say you're a local Kiwanis chapter and you want to reach out to 1,000 different individuals in your community. Then we would send you 1,000 different subscription codes, which you could actually use, or we can send you one subscription code that can be used 1,000 times. The reason why that's so advantageous is that you then can provide it to the communities that you serve in any way that you want. You can do it through email, you can do it through newsletter, you can actually put the subscription code on paper and hand it out. You can use it in any way that you desire to do so, and that code will get you free access.
So $50 is one subscription, or $5 is this support system, correct?
So the normal subscription for normal subscribers is $50 a year. But
Okay.
with nonprofits, we are saying we will make that 1-year subscription available to you for $5 per year per child.
Okay, I'm a member of Val's Literacy Club in Southern Cal, and
Yes.
hopefully next Friday when we charter the club here, I will be a member there. But here's what I'd like to do, and for now, I will do it through the Kiwanis with the club in Cali until we get chartered. That same $50 as a nonprofit, I am going to submit $50 for 10 children at $5 through Kiwanis to have access to these books for the kids that don't have anything out there in Lahaina. So I've got 10 coming in. You make sure we connect, and how I do that through the Kiwanis Club, okay?
Absolutely.
All right.
You.
My absolute pleasure. All right, guys, that wraps it up for today's edition of Kiwanis Connects. David, again, thank you for coming. Vooks.com, VOOKS.com. Vooks. I like Vooks. Leave me alone. Vooks, books. Just as books with a... Well, yeah, never mind. Think of the word books with a V. Just do it that way, all right? Call David, 310-989-2725. All right, we are just about out of time, but you know, Governor Val, I cannot end a show without my bad dad jokes, which were a hit last Thursday. The crowd wants them, the crowd demands it, and trust me, I will not repeat either of the two that I shared with you before we went on the air. Joke number 1, why don't leopards play hide and seek?
They're easy to spot.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. I'm right, but it's close enough. I'll give it to you. Number 2, what did one plate say to the other? Lunch is on me. Last but not least, this one's a little Vegas themed, and when you hear the answer, you'll know why. How did the dragon get bronchitis? It smoked nights.
I have one.
Go ahead, John.
That one was actually funny.
Well, thank you, David. Why did the Scarecrow get an award, John asks? I don't know why.
He was outstanding in his field.
Oh.
Oh, that's gonna
terrible.
be repeated.
Terrible.
That's gonna be repeated.
Karma
during
is
Halloween.
the you know what. All right, Val, safe travels. Please give everybody out there a hug from the Kiwanis family and really the entire world that we're behind them and supporting. David, thank you so much for dropping in. I have a funny feeling you and I will do more, and I'll get my demo over to you in the next couple of days, by the way.
Looking forward to it. Thank you very much. And thank you, and we'll be in touch.
Who knows, you may hear my voice on a future animated book by Vooks, whatever it's called. Rooks, I don't know.
A book of dad jokes.
A book of very bad jokes. All right, everybody, thank you for watching Kiwanis Connects. Val with me in studio next Friday. We'll see you next time. Be safe, be happy, stay hydrated. More importantly, keep helping people. See you next time right here on Kiwanis.